focus during all those stops and starts and delays?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I feel like we've had that a good bit over the last few years since they implemented the lighting thing. So it wasn't. I think it was too difficult.
All right, Mike, go ahead with your question.
Chase, how special is it considered your closest Nashville and racing at the fairgrounds? How special is this for to be in Nashville?
Yeah, look, I wish we were at the fairgrounds for the record, but I'm glad we're at least in the market. This is a cool town. It's a great place to be. It's a great place to race. It's a town that I think embraces us. We embrace the people that are here, and they stuck it out. I mean, heck, the crowd was still pretty good. I thought for it to be 11 o'clock at night or whatever, and having started this thing 6 or 7 hours ago. So yeah, I thought we had a good crowd. Appreciate everybody sticking around, and it is close to home for me. So it's hard to win anywhere, but when you win kind of close to home like that, it is pretty special.
And what about that last year's disappointing race?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing was we just struggled here last year, so to have a struggle a race here a year ago, and then to be able to come back and be as competitive as we were in the second half of the race, I am the most proud of that piece of the puzzle, I think. Just to kind of reset, be able to reevaluate and get back going the right direction here.
All right, we'll start.
Chase, I know you were talking relative to the fairgrounds a couple years ago, saying snooze fest here, but you've been through a couple of races here now. How do you feel like it has stacked up this track when it comes to that, and especially tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think the race was terrible tonight. At least we could get up off the bottom and move around, which I thought was encouraging. And I was even more surprised that we still moved up after the sun went down. I thought at that point it was going to be really one lane, and it really wasn't. You can still be in at least a couple different lanes, and it was way more racy than I thought it was, or I thought it would be. That still doesn't mean I prefer this over the fairgrounds and what that could be. I don't want people to get a sour taste about that. It's just that racetrack and the history of that racetrack and its location is just something that we're never going to replicate again. I mean, for the most part, all these facilities that we have are 45 minutes to an hour outside whatever said market is we're trying to reach. If it's Michigan or here or Atlanta's 30, 45 minutes south of the city. Like all these places we go, Homestead's an hour outside Miami. So all these places that we go, you're drawing from an area that is 45 minutes to an hour away. With the fairgrounds, you'd be drawing from an area that's 15 blocks away or so. Correct me if I'm wrong, on that, but it's a hell of a lot closer than it is here, and that's just not something that in today's society you're never going to build a racetrack in a city like that again. So that's why I think as an industry we need to take advantage of that. We don't need to let that place die. I know they built that big soccer stadium right next door, but use that as positivity because the infrastructure is now there to house all people. Now they have ideas and ways to get people in and out. So it's too good of a place, too good an opportunity for us to not be utilizing that. In my opinion, I think it'd be the best location and best event of the year if they could pull it off.
Was your fear at the time that since you were going to be racing here that you may not be racing there, when actually it is possible you might?
Yes, for sure. I mean, I still worry about that a little bit, but it sounds like they're at least working on it. Unfortunately, I can't do a ton other than just voice my support for it. And I understand all the different sides of the puzzle there, and I respect that. But selfishly for us, I think it'd be a great event. And look, they're already racing there. Folks seem to be doing just fine with the races that are going on, and you'd be talking about one big event a year there for us to come and be a part of it. So I think the positives outweigh the negatives, and I think there's a way to be respectful in doing so of the folks that live in the area and be able to do it in a positive light.
All right, we're going to go to Mark, and then we'll make our way back over here.
Mark here on PRN. I've got two questions. First, Chase, is it enjoyable to win a race where you have some problems, you kind of go off the radar screen? The JGR cars like 250 and 300 laps, because they were kind of going, all right, one of us is going to snag this thing, and then you end up winning. Is it fun to win kind of off the radar?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's fun to win regardless, I feel like. But yeah, I was really proud. Look, proud of a couple things. One, proud of having the past month and a half, 2 months that we've had been horrendous. You know, I've crashed about 10 times, and you know, we've had a lot of stuff happen to end up having bad finishes. And you never want that, especially when it's well, anytime, whether it's in a string of races or not, you don't want that. Period. So proud to be able to bounce back from a really rough stretch. And then proud to have struggled as bad as we did, as bad as we were at the beginning of the race, to be able to adjust on it, take advantage of the opportunities we had to try to fix it, and then to hit on it, and to be able to execute after we hit on it to finish the event strong is not an easy thing to do. So, you know, our team, I feel like they do a great job, and everybody's pulling in the same direction and is executing and doing their jobs to the best of their ability. I feel like we're as good as anybody, and you know, tonight I feel like they really showcased their talents, not just, you know, on pit road with our pit stops being really solid, but Alan and Tom making really good adjustments and just staying on top of everything. So it was a good team win.
Speaking of which, as far as the points, you got stage points. You obviously get a big chunk for winning. You're now plus 30 over Chastain, 31 over Blaney, 47 over Kyle. How do you look at that gap with 9 races together?
Well, I mean, I feel like no gap is safe, right? We had a pretty big one there at one point, and you know, that can go away in a hurry. So, you know, look, you just have to keep bringing strong race cars to the racetrack. You have to keep putting yourself in position to win. When you're battling up front, you have shots to win it. Points thing's gonna take care of itself. You know, you might be faced, if you can achieve the first part of that, you might be faced with a situation here or there where you have to decide whether or not you want to get stage points or whether you want to try to go for the race win. And those things are, you know, that's just part of the world we live in now with stages, you know, but you know, more so on road courses, I guess, than anything. But you know, the best way to look at it is just try to be fighting for wins, and if we're doing that, I think the points thing will be, you know, kind of take care of itself.
All right, Nate, go ahead.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Chase, the restart where you picked up like 5 positions and like a half a lap or a lap, whatever. I asked Alan about that. He said that was the point where she felt like, all right, we got the car to win this race. We've got to win this race. Your perspective on that? Did you feel like when you made that move, like that was when you needed the car to win?
I felt, you know, honestly, you know, I felt like our balance was good, at least when we had our penalty and we went to the back. And I was able to run some different lanes that I had not had the ability to run prior to that. And when that ability showed up for me, I thought, okay, you know, now I think we're in the ballpark. You know, and then as the race went on, you know, the restart thing, like you put anybody in the right situation and you can look like a hero, right? I don't think there's anything special I did. You know, you can take a car that isn't balanced as well as what ours was tonight, and have the right lane choice and the right guys get bottled up at the right time, and you pass 3 or 4 of them, you know. So I don't necessarily think that was the turning point for me. I feel like it was more just a balance thing, and felt like we had got it really close. And then from there, just trying to execute and have good restarts up front and have good pit stops.
You give yourself some credit, though. Looked like a video game type move.
It worked out. I mean, I feel like a lot of guys do that, you know, when people get bottled up off the corner and you have a head of steam, and I mean, the lanes just kind of opened up for me, so it wasn't anything spectacular on my end. I think just kind of went where the options were.
And following up on the points thing, beyond just having a lead in the point standings, you're also now tied for playoff points lead with Byron and Chastain with 13 playoff points. So you feel like you're positioned pretty well. With all this talk about, you know, guys are going to fall out the first round, we're not expecting. It seems like you're getting a little bit of a cushion.
Well, you want more than that, for sure. I mean, I don't think any cushion is safe in the playoff thing unless you have 7 or 6 or 7 wins, like some guys have over the last couple of years. At that point, then you're probably feeling much better about it, you know. But I don't think 2 and just a couple stage wins is going to give you the confidence to make dumb decisions, you know, in the beginning of the playoffs. So look, I think everybody's vulnerable when the playoffs start, you know, especially as the rounds progress. I mean, you know, we have seen guys with those big cushions not make the last round. So I don't think anything's guaranteed, you certainly want to hedge your bet in that direction as much as you can. And every win helps that, every stage win helps that. So that's something I want to achieve. We've never really put ourselves in a position like that to where we have a big cushion and, you know, we're able to kind of cruise through the rounds. I feel like we've always had to scratch and claw for each round, which is fine, and I'm okay with that. But it would be nice to, you know, rack up some wins and hedge your bet more so for a potential bad day or something out of your hands.
All right, Steven, go ahead.
Steven Toronto, CBS Sports. Chase, now that we've had 2 races in Nashville, where exactly does this race rank among the competitors in terms of races that are coveted and that drivers want to win? Obviously, Nashville doesn't really have the recent history in NASCAR since there was a long gap between the 1980s and last year. So it's not necessarily like the Southern 500, the 600 in Charlotte, what have you, but it's pretty quickly become a destination race. There's a lot of hype around it. Obviously, the market's big, kind of like Las Vegas is almost, and obviously everyone also wants the gifts in the car when you win this race. So where exactly does it rank?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just depends on what your personal thoughts are on the city or whatever, but I've enjoyed coming to Nashville. It's been one of my favorite towns for a number of years, you know, and have raced at the fairgrounds and had some special memories over there. So, yeah, it's special to me because of that, you know, but I don't really know where it ranks amongst everyone. For me, every win is important and special to me because they're really hard to get. You know, I don't take any of them for granted, so they're all due, in my opinion. They're too hard to win, to not appreciate them, you know, in a pretty high regard.
Thank you.
All right, go.